Hi, welcome back to Reading with Mani. I'm Mani, and this week I am showing you the outdoors. Hi, I'm in a hotel now. This week is what we call in Uruguay Semana de Turismo, or Easter week. And in my family we have a tradition of going around Uruguay during at least a weekend. So we have decided to travel first to the west coast of our country, which is the coast with the Uruguay River. I'll maybe put a map up here so you can see what I'm talking about, because most people don't know what Uruguay is like. So yeah, we are currently in the city of Mercedes. This is where we're spending the night. It's very warm and lovely because it's a bit up to the north than Montevideo. So yeah, I didn't bring my tripod, so my arm is gonna get really tired in a bit. I'll go quick. So I will show you some footage of the road trip itself and me reading and walking around. We saw a lot of interesting places, which I'll probably talk about like in a voiceover once when I edit the footage, because yeah. But this is still a reading vlog. So what am I reading? I have started today Sea of Tranquility on my Kindle because I could not wait until I got my physical copy. So I'll put a picture up here. So Sea of Tranquility is the latest novel by Emily St. John Mandel. I read 2 of her books last year, Station 11 and The Glass Hotel, which are companion books, and I loved them. And this book, I'm already like 60% in because it's not that long. It's like less than 300 pages. Didn't know that going in, and I was like surprised that I had read so much, but yeah, it makes sense. And I'm loving it. This book is just incredible. I don't even know how to. Yeah, I'm super excited about finishing it because it involves time traveling, because basically we have like 3 different timelines. Yeah, there seems to be like something that is common throughout the 3 timelines. And I can't really say much more about it. I have talked about this book in other videos, and I feel that now that I have read a bit of it, if I say anything, I'm gonna spoil something that I shouldn't. So go read it is what I can say. I'll probably finish it, if not tonight, because we're about to go out to dinner, and then we'll probably go to sleep because we like getting an early start in our trips. So yeah, I'm gonna probably finish it tomorrow in the rest of the trip. And yeah, tomorrow we're going to go visit other places, and after that we're going to spend a few days in Punta del Este, which is kind of like the most well-known seaside town that we have here in Uruguay. I hate it during the summer because it's so packed with people. Like you can't even go to the beach, because it's so packed. But going at this time, it's gonna be really quiet, really nice. I can go take some walks and read and relax. Once I finish Sea of Tranquility, which again, I plan to finish quite soon, I also brought with me Clara and the Sun, which is the next buddy read that I'm doing with my best friend. And I have also started Mischief Acts by Zoe Gilbert. That is such an interesting and unique book, but I think I'll talk about it more when I actually pick it up again, because it's on pause now because I had to read Sea of Tranquility and then start Clara and the Sun probably. So anyway, I think that's it for now. I'm gonna cue the footage and let you know where we've been. So as you can see, it was pretty foggy out when we set out, but it did get nicer as the morning progressed. You can see here a staple of Uruguayan highways: cows, lots of cows. We are on our way to Colonia, which is a province, I guess, of Uruguay on the west coast, as I said. Colonia del Sacramento is actually the oldest city in Uruguay, and this is the Real de San Carlos bullfighting rink, what do they call them? I forget. This is a turn of the century structure, 20th century obviously. It was actually functioning for 3 years before the president of the time banned bullfighting. So it was a huge investment that brought a lot of movement to the area, a lot of jobs and construction, and yeah, but it only lasted for 3 years. And it had been a ruin for a very long time, at least all my lifetime. We actually went there when I was little, and it was already in danger of falling down. So it has recently been restored. As you can see here, only half of it. The other half has been restored again, so that it doesn't fall down, but nobody can actually go there. And they're having tours and a museum, and they are using it as a venue for concerts and events and things like that. So it was super interesting to see this national heritage site and its history. The tour guide was amazing, and since both my parents are architects, we have always been interested in architecture in my family, and so it was really interesting to see all that. Next, we got to see another really interesting side of our history, with the way that immigrants got to our country and made a home for themselves, and also opened up industries and businesses and things like that. So this is where an English immigrant, who actually was a castaway from a ship, got his business going. Apparently the whole town developed after the settling of his importing and exporting center here. It was amazingly quiet, as most towns outside Montevideo are, which I'm always surprised by because I am a city girl. The houses, they were all like this, with those slanted walls, which I found fascinating. And then we visited the cemetery that you can see here, and now I'm going to shut up so you can hear the quiet. And now we are in Villa Soriano, which is, again, a tiny town close to the river. This is the Rio Negro, which splits Uruguay in two, basically. And it's such a peaceful place. This pier is just beautiful. And we watch the sunset. So again, I'm gonna shut up so you can experience the peacefulness with me. So this is day 2 of our trip. We are now leaving Mercedes, where we spent the night, and we are crossing over to Fraiventos, which is in the province of Rio Negro. We are touring a meat processing plant called Frigorifico Anglo. It was a turn of the century, again, construction. It worked until the 1970s. It was a pretty important part of our industrial development. As you can see here, they made their own electricity. In fact, I think the tour guide said that they had electricity even before Montevideo did, which is amazing. The whole thing was kind of self-contained. All the workers lived around the plant. I'm not going to show you the actual meat processing parts because, yeah, those were not pleasant to see. I mean, obviously it's not working, but yeah, you can imagine what it was like. But I still found it fascinating. The plant actually made corned beef and meat extract and many other things, and it was a very important part of our economy as well, because during the World Wars we would export those to Europe since they were obviously having a food crisis, and they actually fed those meat products to soldiers on the front line. It was all very fascinating. It has been declared a World Heritage Site, if I remember correctly, and yeah, they're actually making it into a bit of a more interactive museum, and yeah, really developing the zone, and I think that's really great. We also visited the pier, and we had lunch by the Rio Negro again, and then we went back to the site. Here we actually visited the manager's house, which, if you ask me, I don't believe in haunted houses, but if you ask me, this is a perfect example of a haunted house. I mean, can you imagine this at night? On a dark, wintry night? I don't know. And then we visited yet another ruin. This is a lime quarry, which again was one of our exports back at the colonial times, I think, even from like the colonial times. Again, fascinating to see. It's actually pretty well preserved, except for some graffiti, which, you know, people. But yeah, it was a lovely day, all in all, and this wraps up day 2. It was also around here that I finished Sea of Tranquility, but I will tell you about that when I do my update. So this is La Sierra De Malma. This is day 3 of our trip. We were on our way to Punta del Este, and we decided to stop here because the day was actually nice. Here I am having an Elizabeth Bennet sort of moment from Pride and Prejudice 2005, but you know, the budget version, I guess. So these are located in San Jose. There were some indigenous people living here, if I remember the story correctly, and there's a lot of these rocks balanced on other rocks. I don't even know, but I'll show you more of these later on. Now this rock is big enough for a person to stand there under the red dots. It was incredible. And here you have some more cows for your viewing pleasure. And this was another super interesting part. People who come to visit just make these rock piles. Apparently for some people it's like leaving troubles behind or making promises. I'm not sure what the reasoning is, but I left one stone on top of another here. There's tons and tons of them, and some of the piles are actually quite impressive in the way that they are balanced. And now we're on our way to our final destination, which is, as I said, Punta del Este. Punta del Este is actually the limit between the Rio de la Plata, which is actually an estuary. You're going to see now how wide it is. It's almost the sea, but it isn't. We'll get to the sea soon enough. And it was a lovely sunset. Hi, I'm back. It is now the 4th day of our trip, so today is Tuesday the 12th. I don't know. I'm on holiday. It's okay if I don't know. So, a few updates because I wasn't able to update you before. I have finished Sea of Tranquility. I have no words. I finished it a couple of days ago, like on Sunday, and I still have absolutely no words for it. I thought it was incredible. I loved how all the different stories were connected. I loved... There's a bird coming to say hello. I loved the twist, even though maybe, you know, if you've read a lot of science fiction, you could have seen it coming, but I still loved it. I thought it was incredible. I thought it presented a lot of interesting theories. Like, for example, they talk about the theory of simulation and how, like, all of this, our world could just be a simulation by some higher power entity, something, and all the philosophical questions relating to that. There's a lot of mosquitoes. I mean, why would anyone make a simulation with mosquitoes though, right? Anyway, I thought it was fascinating. I devoured it. It's not very long, as I said, but I still like flew through it, and I can't wait to read more of Emily St. John Mandel's work. I thought that this one was really well done, incredibly beautifully well written. I don't know what other adjective to use. I just loved it. Definitely solidifying herself as one of my favorite authors, because yeah. So anyway, that was on Sunday. So today has been a very restful day. We just spent it in the sun. I am kind of a bit, you know, I think I underestimated the sun's strength today, because yeah, I put on sunscreen way too late and I'm a bit red here now. Which is not good. I never let the sun burn me this way, because I am super worried about skin cancer. But yeah, I got a bit careless today, I guess. Anyway, so yesterday, after I had finished Sea of Tranquility, I started, and I finished today, Clap on the Sun. Finally, I finally read it. I spent most of the beginning of this book going like, what is this? I had a lot of questions. Kazuo Ishiguro, I think every other book, he loves just keeping you like in the dark about certain things. I have felt this during Never Let Me Go, which I actually found kind of reminiscing of this for reasons that I can't explain, because spoilers for both books. And I also felt like that during The Brave Giant. It's like every other book, he wants you to not know what's going on. In this one, there's like allusions to this dystopian society, but it's not very clear, like what all it entails. You still get a picture, so yeah, but it takes a while. Same thing happens in Never Let Me Go, actually. That's why it felt reminiscent of that, and other reasons, which again, I won't go into. In this book, we have Clara, who is an artificial friend, and she has really good observational skills. So when she's in the store observing, like from her window, she starts making her observations about humanity, and then as she gets brought into this family where there's the mother, and she wants an artificial friend for her daughter who is very sickly. And we kind of go from there, and we continue to see Clara's observations about humanity and loneliness in particular. I think that was a theme that was incredibly well explored, like the lengths that humans will go to not feel lonely. I really loved this book. By the end, I was tearing up, as per usual with Kazuo Ishiguro. And yeah, I found Clara to be a very unique narrator with a unique voice. I finished it a while ago, like a couple of hours ago, and I'm still thinking about it. I was quite upset at it at certain moments, so yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna be thinking about this for a while. But yeah, I gave it 5 stars, as I did with Sea of Tranquility, so yeah, I'm very happy with that. I started Mischief Acts a couple of days ago, and that's what I'm gonna pick up next, because I left it on pause. Mischief Acts by Zoe Gilbert. I'll put a picture of the cover up here because it's beautiful. I love it. It's about this myth from England. It's the myth of Herne. I'm not sure if I am pronouncing it correctly, but yes. He is a man with the horns of a stag. Is it horns? Antlers? What do they have? Anyway, he's a horned man. And he's like the leader of some sort of hunt that happens in this forest. And yeah, this book is unlike anything I've ever read. Like, each part starts like with a chant or with a song that seems to be like a traditional sort of folk thing, and then you get into the story, but each story so far has been like in a different decade, starting in like the 14th century, I think. And yeah, it's like an exploration of how the myth develops, but also it feels real. Like, I don't know, it's so unique. I am loving it so far, and yeah, I can't wait to pick it up again because I left it kind of abruptly. So I'm gonna pick up that again tonight. I have no idea how I'm gonna edit this. Pretty sure I'm gonna cut it up at some point because I started editing this, and I already have like at least 25 minutes of footage from the first 2 days, so it's gonna be kind of long. I'll probably update when I get home on Thursday, because I don't know if I'll have time to update you before that. So yeah, see you later. All right, and now we're on day 5. Yes, this was on Wednesday. We went to the MACA, which is a contemporary art museum in Punta del Este. I'm just gonna let you watch the art. Basically, there's a lot of sculptures outside, and it's lovely. There's a lot of ground to tour and to walk around, and there are some really interesting installations. found this next piece particularly moving because it's about, well, what is now termed the miracle in the Andes. There was a plane with a lot of Uruguayan people, rugby players actually, most of them, and they were crossing the Andes and their plane crashed basically, and lots of people died, but some of them actually survived, and it's a story of amazing human resilience and leadership and endurance. And yeah, it's a story that, you know, we as Uruguayans kind of grow up on listening, and there's quite a lot of books about it, so if you're interested, you should definitely check that out. There's also a movie with Ethan Hawke, but I don't think it's that accurate, I seem to remember. But yeah, quite an amazing story. Whoa, it's so trippy! And over here you can see the exhibition building, which is interesting in itself. And there's obviously paintings and things inside. This is an exhibition by this artist called Ferrari, and he makes all of these prints with blueprint elements, which I found fascinating because, again, as the child of architects, I used to play around with stencils and things and try to create my own houses and apartments and blueprints, and I wanted to be an architect when I was little, but then I was disabused of that idea by actually learning what architecture entails, so I did not go that route. But yeah, I found all of the exhibition to be really interesting. This is a more modern art kind of thing. They were all kind of trippy in this area. But yeah, I thought it was a lovely place. And this is the last day. This is day 6. We went to the harbor to have lunch. There we are at the coast, and this is a bit further to the east. This is the Laguna Garzón, which has a very interesting bridge, which is round. You'll see later on the way back how it actually rounds, but you have the lake there and then the sea. And here we are in José Ignacio, which is a bit closer to Punta del Este, and it's a lovely little town. Has this lovely little lighthouse. You'll see how we go up there in a second. And when I was up there, I kept thinking of the quote by Legolas in The Lord of the Rings when he calls to the sea and he talks about the wind blowing and the seagulls crying and something like that. I'll put up the quote there on the screen because, yeah, I always think about it when I look at the ocean like that. I don't know. And this is yet another interesting bridge that we have in Uruguay. It's El Puente De Lavara, and as you can see, it goes up and down a couple of times. That actually saves materials, apparently. When we were little, we would ask my father to drive really fast through the bridge so that we could feel like we were in a roller coaster or something. It was really fun. And now we're back in Montevideo, and I'll leave you to enjoy the lovely greeting I got by my cats. Hi. Hi, it's me. Hola, bebitas. Sí, traje bolsos. Me tiraron un libro, niñas. I'm reading that. So, hi, it's Saturday morning here actually. We actually ended up staying another day. This is a cat hair. You know when you spend 1 week not brushing your cats because you're on holiday and then you come back and your cat is a loose fur ball? Yeah. Anyway, we actually ended up staying another day in Punta del Este. So we actually arrived back in Montevideo yesterday afternoon, and yeah, I spent a while just catching up with some chores and starting to edit the video, and I realized I still didn't wrap it up. So here's me wrapping it up. There's one thing that I didn't mention at all in my updates. I don't know why, but I am participating in 2 readathons this whole month. And I didn't mention them. So if you watched my April TBR video, which I'll link above just in case you're interested, I am participating in the Academy Magical Readathon for the spring equinox, which was created by G from Book Roast. I'll always leave all the links down below. And I'm also participating in their Realm-A-Thon readathon as well. Which was created by Covers with Cassidy, again, information down below. And yeah, I used both Sea of Tranquility and Clara and the Sun to decrease points from another realm. So yeah, that was cool. I actually read Sea of Tranquility during the Peace Talks weekend, which was like a 48-hour readathon, and I only managed to read 1 book, but I think it's okay. You got extra points for that, so yeah. And well, those 2 books do count for they count for the subjects that we have to read for the spring equinox for the Aurelium Academy readathon. I still haven't decided what they fit, because I have options in terms of my callings and I still haven't really made up my mind, but basically I could use Sea of Tranquility for a book set in the future, or for a book with a trope I like, because yeah, it had time traveling and I really like time traveling. And I could use Clara and the Sun for Source of Light on the cover, because it has a sun on it. And it could also be for a book with a trope I like, because I like, I think I mentioned this before, I like when an outsider, like a non-human narrator observes humans. I really always enjoy that. So yeah, I have options and they are all for different, I can't talk. They're all for different callings, so I don't know, once I get to the end of the month, I guess I'll decide what each of my reads fits for the prompts. But yes, I just wanted to mention that I am participating in the readathons and that all of these books count for something, but we shall see. So yeah, I think that's it from me for this Easter week reading vlog. And I hope that you enjoy the little history that I talked about. Maybe it was a bit dense. I tried to make it as light as possible because I did learn a lot during that week with all the tours that we made. I don't know. I find history fascinating, and especially if you're not from Uruguay, or maybe if you are from Uruguay, you don't know about these places. And yeah, maybe I hope it was interesting for you. Anyway, please leave me a like down below if you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think of the books I read, if you have read them, or anything else that you found interesting in this video. Hi cat. This is the fur ball. Look at it. Whee! Hi furball. It's fine. Anyway, please subscribe. Seriously? Please subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye. Happy reading. Thanks. Son unos segunditos. What are you doing?